Hi, in today's video, I'll be talking on C-shaped canal configuration. In almost 60 to 70% of mandibular second molar has a normal canal configuration as shown here, but there are certain group of population in which the canal configuration is totally different. It is a shape of C-shape. So it is very important to know the canal configuration because it poses endodontic challenges while doing the access opening, cleaning and shaping, and obturation. Well, in this video, I'll be talking on clinical guidelines, different classification related to C-shaped canal configuration, and we have MCQs related to C-shaped canal, which is placed in the first few slides when you begin the video. So please go through the question, tick the answer, and once you complete reading the question and ticking the answer, go through the entire video and match whether your answer is right or wrong. So these are the multiple choice questions. There are altogether 10 questions. And now coming to the proper presentation of C-shaped canal. The etiology of C-shaped canal is related to the failure of Hertwig epithelial root sheath to fuse on the lingual or buccal root surface, which is the main cause of C-shaped root. Few literature suggests that the C-shaped root may also be formed by coalescence because of deposition of the cementum with time. What does the epidemiology says? Epidemiology says that it is most commonly found in mandibular second molar in Asian population, Chinese, Lebanese, and Burmese population. When present on one side, a C-shaped canal may be found in the contralateral tooth in over 70% of the individual. So when we look at the literature, although C-shape is found in mandibular first premolar, third molar, and first molar, but majority of the author found that C-shape is most commonly associated with mandibular second molar. We can see the percentage. Now coming to the diagnosis, we can diagnose C-shaped canal either by radiographic method or clinical method. But for further diagnosis in a detailed way, we need both radiographic as well as the clinical diagnosis. So radiographic diagnosis, it is always necessary to take angle radiograph from 20-degree mesial or distal projection if the tooth contained radicular fusion or proximity, a large distal canal, a narrow mesial canal, or blurred image of third canal in between, we can suspect for a C-shaped canal. As shown here, we can see there is a radicular fusion, a large distal canal, a narrow mesial canal. So if such type of presentation is there in the radiograph, we can suspect for C-shaped canal. The presentation of C-shaped canal is different from the normal anatomy of mandibular second molar. As we can see here, clinically we can see the shape of the canal configuration is C-shaped. While doing the working length determination, it shows either the file can be in the canal or it is in the midway between the furcation. So it's not like the file is going in the furcation areas. The canal configuration is related to the root morphology of the mandibular second molar. So if we take the CBCT, we can diagnose whether the file which is going in between, which looks like a furcation, is going in the canal or outside. And we can see the obturation. The obturation is also different from the normal root canal, which you do it for mandibular second molar. So the presentation is different. So each and every step from access opening, cleaning and shaping and obturation is different compared to the normal mandibular second molar. So clinical diagnosis. The clinical diagnosis relates to the shape of the mandibular second molar of C-shaped. But it's not like the C-shape is continuous. We can have some other presentation in which a small canal is present and the entire canal is of C-shape. So the clinical recognition of C-shaped canal is based on the definite observable criteria, the anatomy of floor of the pulp chamber, and the persistence of hemorrhage or pain when separate canal orifices were found. When a deep groove is present on lingual or buccal surface of the root, a C-shaped canal is expected. In a true C-shaped canal, it is possible to pass an instrument from mesial to distal aspect without obstruction. In other configurations, such passage is impeded by discontinuous dentin bridges. Means from here, if I start putting the instrument, it can go without interruption till here. But in this case, the file will come till here, and here I will have a obstruction, and then again one file we insert over here. So here, discontinuous within the flow of the instrument will be here, but here we can pass the instrument without any obstruction. So there are different types of C-shaped canal. On the basis of that, the classification is designed. So the classification, the first classification was given by Milton in 1991, and it was modified by Fan, and later on the basis of type of pulpal floor and three-dimensional classification were given by different authors. But they are the group of authors which worked together and classified C-shaped canal. Regarding the Milton classification, the Milton's classification is the oldest, so it has certain drawbacks. Still, we need to know. So the category 1, it is a C-shape, which is a continuous C-shape running from the pulp chamber to the apex, defined a C-shaped outline without any separation. In category C2, that is the semicolon shape orifice in which dentin separates a main C-shaped canal from one mesial distinct canal. In category 3, refers to those with two or more discrete and separate canals. But there were certain subdivisions related to category 3, that is 1, 2, and 3. But nowadays, we are not following Milton's classification, because in this classification, there has been no clear description of the difference between category 2 and 3, as well as the clinical significance. But one most important thing which we can draw from Milton's classification is like, the second type of C-shaped canal is the most common. So this may come as a question in MCQ exam. So Fan in the year 2004 modified Milton's classification into 5 types. Category 1, the shape was complete C with no separation or division. Category 2, the canal shape resembled a semicolon resulting from discontinuous of the C outline, but either angle should be no less than 60 degrees. As we can see here, 1 or 2 or either one will be no less than the 60 degree. In category 3, 2 or 3 separate canals and both angles were less than 60 degree. In category 4, only one round or oval canal in the cross section is seen, and in category 5, no canal lumen would be observed, which is usually seen near the apex only. So the one which looks like C-shape when we do the axis opening, most likely that is a C-shaped canal, but sometimes even though it doesn't look like C-shaped canal, doesn't mean that the C-shaped canal does not exist. So this is very important to know. So note the alpha and beta angle. The one in which either of the two angle is more than 60 degree is category 2, and in which both the alpha and beta is less than 60 degree is category 3. So this can again come as a MCQ exam. C-shaped canal configuration can also be classified on the basis of types of pulpal floor. So there are basically 4 types. In type 1, it is a peninsula-like floor with continuous C-shaped orifice. Type 2, a buccal strip-like dentin connection exists between the peninsula-like floor and the buccal wall of the pulp chamber that separates C-shaped groups into mesial and distal orifice. Sometimes the mesial orifice separates into mesiobuccal and mesiolingual orifice by another strip-like dentin between the peninsula-like floor and mesial wall of the pulp chamber. In type 3, only one mesial strip-like connection exists between the peninsula-like floor and the mesial wall, which separates the C-shaped group into a small mesiolingual orifice and large mesiobuccal and distal orifice. The mesio-bucco-distal orifice was formed by merging of the mesio-buccal orifice and distal orifice. Type 4, it is a non-C-shaped floor, one distant canal orifice and one oval or 2 round mesial canal orifice are present. So when we look at the classification, type 1 and type 4, it is very simple to remember. It is a continuous C-shape with peninsula-like floor. Type 4, it is a non-C-shape type. As we can see, separate canals are located here. So there is always a confusion between type 2 and type 3. So when you remember, in type 2, there is a buccal strip-like dentine connection here. And in type 3, only one mesial dentine strip present over here. By that, it will be easy to remember. So the mnemonics can be BMP. We always know BMP when we do the root canal treatment, but here type 2 is B, type 3 is M, and P is the type of pulpal floor. So when only a buccal strip-like dentine connection is present, that is type 2. When only a mesial strip-like dentine connection is present, that is a type 3, and P relates to the pulpal floor. By that, it will be easy to remember when you solve the MCQ or when you write the paper for short essay type of questions. Now there is another classification, three-dimensional classification. It is very easy to remember. The type 1 is merging, type B is symmetrical, and type C is asymmetrical. Now coming to the management of C-shaped canal morphology, the necessity for deep orifice preparation and careful probing with small files characterize the C-shape category more accurately, because in most of the cases, the orifices are located below the level of CJ, so it is very difficult to locate the canal. The isthmus should not be prepared with larger than number 25 files, otherwise strip perforation is likely to be occurred. Getz green burr should not be used to prepare the mesiobuccal and buccal isthmus area. Extravagant use of small files and 5.25% of sodium hypochlorite is a key to thorough debridement of narrow canal isthmuses. Alternative canal cleaning technique, such as those that use ultrasonics, would be more effective, but we should be cautious while using ultrasonic because there are different cases reported with strip perforation related to ultrasonics. An anti-curvature filing method in the coronal third of the canal is needed to prevent perforation. Regarding the obturation, jab and tap maneuver, that is, preheating the Endotech plugger for 4 to 5 seconds before insertion, that is jab, and then moving the hot instrument in and out in short continuous stroke, that is tap, 10 to 15 times. The plugger is removed while still hot, followed by a cold spreader with insertion of additional accessory points. If endodontic surgical intervention is indicated for a molar with C-shape root canal anatomy, strong consideration should be given to extraction, retrofilling, and intentional replantation. If the post placement for a crown core is desired, use of only the distal canal should be considered. If the failure results from apical etiology and apical surgery is not possible, viable options include extraction, extraoral retrofilling, and replantation. So this is all about the C-shaped canal configuration. There were MCQs, clinical guidelines, classification. So please go through the videos. Treating any tooth, and if we need to do the root canal, is always challenging. But if there is a C-shaped canal, we should have a thorough knowledge about the C-shaped canal morphology to diagnose the case as well as treat it in a perfect way. Thank you very much.